America now is within the range of North Korea. North Korea successfully test-fired intercontinental ballistic missile. North Korea successfully test-fired intercontinental ballistic missile. Now America is within the range of North Korea. But as you all know, we are in the unit veto system. We are in the unit veto system. Every small nation and big nation, good number of countries in the world, every small nation and big nation, good number of countries in the world have nuclear weapons. Big country can stop a small country, and small country also can throw a nuclear bomb on the big country. This is called unit veto system. Every unit have the power to stop or to veto any other unit, most of the units if not all. In this unit veto system, nuclear wars are disastrous. Nuclear wars, as you all know, there is no winner or loser in the nuclear war. Nobody wins, nobody loses. In fact, everything will be a disaster. Nuclear wars cannot be won. This fact Trump knows, Kim knows, everyone knows. So all these things, testing fire the missiles or showing the prowess in shows, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, is all for deterrence. It is all for deterrence. And very difficult to see actual war. It will not happen. In the world, nuclear wars, if happens, it is disastrous not only for North Korea and America, but for everyone. And even they also know that nuclear wars are disastrous in either side. In both the sides it is disaster. So let us hope nuclear wars will not come into the world. The most important news today is net neutrality. Net neutrality. This year all of you can expect essay or answer. Essay or answer, or even some prelims question, what is net neutrality. In 2013 there is wide news about net neutrality. After again in 2016, last year, Facebook free basics issue have come. Facebook free basics issue are coming to fore. Now again, TRAI, India's Telecom Regulatory Authority, have given guidelines for net neutrality. TRAI have given guidelines for net neutrality. What do you mean by this net neutrality? Service providers, telecom companies should not block certain websites. Service providers, telecom companies should not block certain websites or tinker with the speed of the sites. By taking money, it should not increase the accessibility to certain sites or channels. The consumer or the customer or the common man should have a wider choice to access most of the sites. If you try to tinker and try to reduce the speed of certain sites, neutrality cannot be maintained. All options should be properly available. All options should be properly available to the consumer, to the person who accesses the internet. Surprisingly, India's net neutrality laws have come into the fore when UN Federal Commission, United States Federal Communications Commission. United States Federal Communication Commission started minimizing the rules on net neutrality. During Obama government, similarly, certain rules were imposed on net neutrality to maintain net neutrality in America. But now, the Trump's administration wanted to do away with this regulation. So, what is going on in India yesterday and today? The same contrast is going on in America. The news yesterday was something different in America. The news today was something different in India. Bringing India closer to what could be the world's most progressive policy. World's most progressive policy on equal internet access for all. Equal internet access for all. Here there are few points which one should concentrate. Point 1, internet and net governance is a difficult task. The reason is the entire cyberspace is controlled by private, not by the government. Most of the cyberspace is controlled by private. The governments can regulate land, regulate sea, regulate space, regulate even outer space, but it is highly difficult to regulate the internet. The reason is it is so fast, seamless, without borders, and mostly controlled by the private sector. Now it's the time to take a call on cyber governance in the world and in India. As we all know, net neutrality is a serious issue because when you promote certain sites for commercial purpose or some other purpose, that means you are increasing access to certain sites. They might exploit the consumers, and we don't have such time to wait for the sites which are blocked or whose speed is very less. And in the net neutrality guidelines yesterday, there are some exceptions also. For certain reasons like quality of content or specialized content, certain websites should be given priority, can be given priority. But now it is up to the TRAI how to regulate and oversee the misuse of this provision. There is an exception that if the content or specialized quality is given, that website can be given a special priority. Now service providers may use this loophole, may use this exemption clause as a loophole. Now TRAI has to rightly regulate it. This is the new function of the TRAI now. We will see how it is going to oversee this. Next important article today is let Hadiya to take charge of her life. Let Hadiya to take charge of her life. The article is written by Brinda Karath. The article is written by Brinda Karath, CPIM leader, former Rajya Sabha MP. She told, Ka Panchayat means a village panchayat, village level, where village heads will sit, informal panchayat, which is not constitutional body, informal body where they will decide. And women will not be allowed to speak. Accused women will not be allowed to speak. In the same way, Hadiya was made to stand in the court for 1.5 hours in the Supreme Court, as if she has committed some crime. As if she has committed some crime. The other wrote many points. The right to speak of Hadiya. And in this article, the other quoted that her father is thinking that he has won the case. In both the sides are thinking that they have won the case. Her father is thinking that court have not allowed her to go along with her husband. Court have not allowed her to go along with her husband, so father have won. Hadiya is thinking that court allowed her to go to study to Salem and to consult or to meet any person including her husband. Both the things, both the parties are happy, but the final judgment, final hearings are to be continued now in January next hearing. So, court may give some best judgment. So, freedom of movement, women dignity, right to choice, and more importantly, right to speak, right to access to court, and who will pay for the entire agony of Hadiya is also a question. And vigilantism of the society, over interference of personal life, over interference in the personal life. All these things are discussed in the article. You can read that, very good article. Next important article is on eliminate torture. Eliminate torture. Listen. UN Convention on Elimination of Torture, Abolition of Torture. India signed it in 1997. UN Convention on Elimination of Torture, India signed it in 1997. But India till date have not ratified it. India till date have not ratified it. There is no single law in India. There is no single law in India to protect persons from torture. Separate law in India. If you observe, 1 month back, there is a very big case in India. Riyan International School murder case. Riyan International School murder case. In that case, first school bus driver got arrested. Then of late, recently, it is not the bus driver, somebody else, another boy of 11th standard have committed the murder. Now bus driver was proved innocent. Now the question is, for the torture and agony, mentally and physically, who should bear the cost? How they should be compensated? Who should bear the cost? How they should be compensated? This type of torture law, elimination of torture law, does not find place in the Indian setup. So now India has to ratify 1997 UN Convention for Elimination of Torture. India should make an effective law to end torture, harassment and agony in India. And most of the cases, the innocents are being tortured, and how we should compensate them. There should be some regulation for this. For that reason the article was written. Next important article today is on Ireland. You should know one point. Northern Ireland is a part of UK. Northern Ireland is a part of UK. Republic of Ireland is a separate country. Republic of Ireland is a separate country. But every day 35,000 people cross the border. Republic Ireland to North Ireland. Every day 35,000 people cross the border. 1,77,000 lorries cross the border. And 1.85 million cars cross the border. And unless the border issues, territorial issues got settled, the Brexit process cannot be completed. The Brexit process cannot be completed. Already there are movements in Northern Ireland. There is a sufficient autonomy to Northern Ireland. Now along with Britain, means along with England, the Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, everyone is going back from EU. Whereas Republic of Ireland is a part of EU. Republic of Ireland is a part of European Union. When Britain is going out of European Union, customs union, free market, all those things, there should be proper demarcation, because when the borders are porous, the customs departments and other issues will flare up. For that reason, we have to first settle down the territorial disputes with Ireland. That is Republic of Ireland. The capital of Republic of Ireland is Dublin. Next important article is on electric cars and India. Electric cars and India. As we all know, from last 3-4 months there is a discussion about electric cars in India. Electric cars are climate friendly, they are eco friendly, you can minimize the adverse effects of greenhouse gases, carbon monoxide, etc. if you use electric cars. But the thing is, in the Indian traffic conditions, Indian rules, you cannot use electric cars efficiently. The reason is, in US and other countries, there are tracks where according to the distance, according to the speed, according to the vehicle, you have to take a track. But India, the entire traffic will go in a halla gulla, in a messy way. In such a situation, it will end up in accidents and other mishaps, rather than the benefits of electric cars. We used to get so many problems with electric cars. Unless we have better traffic management, better roads and better infrastructure, more than all these things, better mindsets of the people, we cannot have these electric cars as a viable solution. This is the gist of the article. Next and last important article today is against gender rights. Against gender rights. LGBT community, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender community. Lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender community do not have a specific law in India for their protection. Do not have a specific law for them for their protection. All fundamental rights, right to equality, right against discrimination, are applicable to them, but there is no specialized law for them. To that end, in 2014, Shashi Tharoor, an MP from Trivandrum, introduced a private member bill in the parliament. Introduced a private member bill in the parliament. A private member bill is a bill which is introduced by an MP who is not a minister. A private member bill is a bill which is introduced by an MP who is not a minister. As you all know, private member bills very difficult to pass. It is very difficult to pass a private member bill. Whereas a government bill is a bill which is introduced by a minister. It will have full length support. Later on, government bill was introduced for LGBT rights, helping them in various issues like non-discrimination, education rights, employment rights, right to treatment, medical facilities, and also giving them OBC status. Those LGBTs who do not belong to SC/ST community, the bill says that they should get OBC status. So all good provisions are there in the bill, but still the bill is pending. Now there is an urgent need to pass the bill. Urgent need to pass the bill. As you all know, there is one section called section 377 of IPC. There is section called section 377 of Indian Penal Code, which penalizes lesbian gay relationships. Which penalizes lesbian gay relationships. In 2014, in Suresh Kumar Kaushal versus Raj Foundation case, the Supreme Court told that section 377 with respect to LGBTs is constitutional. It is constitutional, so it is valid. That means right to privacy in its full length has not been granted to LGBT community. Without harming, even though they are not harming others sometimes, we are not allowing them to lead the life of their own choice. We are not allowing LGBT community to lead the life of their own choice. To that end, recently you have seen Aadhaar judgment, Puttaswamy versus Union of India judgment. In that judgment, right to privacy is considered as fundamental right. Now, this judgment is going to open new vistas in LGBT issues also. Let us hope that they will get some light and they will be treated with human dignity, because taking birth in LGBT community is not a matter of choice, but it is an accident. It is an accident. Let us respect every man who was born with some infirmity, because they are also humans equally like you and me. Okay, these are the important current affairs in the newspaper today.